an MCA, so that is from my side.
Okay. So do you have any knowledge on CSS and HTML5?
HTML5 only video I have used like a hover and focus like that.
Mm-hmm. How much can you rate out of 5 for CSS?
CSS I didn't use much more, only 2.5 I can read.
Okay. So can you explain about semantic elements?
Semantic elements like get element by ID, get element by class, get element by tag name.
No, no. In HTML5, we are having some new features.
Like audio video and focus, hover.
Mhm. So can you tell me the HTML attributes?
HTML attributes uh,
Yes.
like a name, class name, ID, and tag name.
Okay, so have you worked on position in CSS?
Yes, position it is we can set the position top, left, right, bottom with the help of relative, absolute, fixed, default, and sticky. So if
So can you explain about absolute and relative?
yes, absolute. It means we can say that there are two div 1 and div 2. So if we set the position with absolute top, left, right, bottom, so it just take the reference of the parent. Like a parent is a div 1 and child is a div 2. So once we will position set the absolute, it just take the override overlapping with the parent. Take the reference of the parent in absolute. But in relative, we can set the top, left, right, bottom. So we don't this is not a take up reference of the parent.
So what is the difference between display none and visibility hidden?
Visibility hidden when we are using it just doesn't take the space, but the display none it just take the space.
Are you sure?
Yes, visibility hidden that doesn't take the space. Yeah.
Is it possible to change the inline element as block?
mm, Inline element is to block. mm, Inline element like a span. I think yes, I don't know.
So can you explain about meta tag?
Which one?
Meta tag.
Meta.
Yes.
Meta tag actually this is a doc type. No, once we are using in HTML, so it just showing the version of our browser.
Are you sure?
Mm, yes, ma'am.
So what is the purpose of opacity?
Which one?
Opacity.
Opacity.
Yes.
Opacity. I think for blur the screen. I think that time we are using
Mhm. So do you
transition.
have any idea about pseudo elements and pseudo class?
Pseudo elements and pseudo class. No, no.
Yes.
Pseudo class. I think this is a. Uh, no, ma'am. I don't.
Okay. So how will you make a particular element as a center of the web page?
Sorry.
How will you make particular element as a center of the web page?
Center of the web page. Particular page.
Yes.
Element.
Yes.
Uh, we can set the text align center, or we can set by the position also.
Okay. So you are having some username, password. Okay. In the is as a form. Okay. That the username and password label is in the form. So by default, it's in the left side of the web page. I need to make this particular form to the center of the web page. How you can do that?
So most of the time we can set through the position.
Yeah, with the position, how you can do that?
uh, the text is in left, then we can set the right position, center position. You want to set the
Have you worked on Flexbox?
no.
What about grid?
Yes, grid I worked on this. Grid is the divided in the 12 columns, and so it is just a page responsive like extra small, medium, large. Listen.
How we can determine whether the browser supports particular features or not? Like suppose consider we are having grid features. So this
Mm.
grid features will support by all the browsers. How we can find that?
We can set the extra small. This is a mobile.
So what I'm asking is how to determine whether the browser supports these particular features like grid or flex, all those concepts, whether the browser get supports or not. How we can find that?
Mm, Actually, in inspect, when I right click in inspect, and there are some click on the mobile resolutions. So mobile tab, so we can find that.
Why do we need to use clear property along with floats? While we are using float left and right, in particular scenario we will be using clear both, right? So why we are using that property?
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay, so what is mean by closure?
Yeah, closure it is there are two function 1 and function 2. Inside the function 1 we are defining some variable like where a is equal to 10, and inside function 1 we are creating another function like a function 2, and we can just print out variable a. So it means closure is nothing but the inner function can access the variable from the outer function.
Okay, so can you write an example? So please
Yes,
share your screen and can you write your any example for closure?
in notepad where
No, no. In the stack blitz.
where
Stack blitz.
start.
Stack blitz. You can click on this.
Where
I have pinged you.
here we can write a function in and then we are initializing is equal to 10 center function. like that. This is a function A, and we are initializing some variable A, creating another function B. So we can take the where we are initialized inside a function A. So it means B is
Where
going
is
to
out?
output as and
When you click on the console below right side.
okay, yeah, done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So can you write an example for AJAX call? So create a button. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So after clicking this button, you should let me ping you.
Ajax, oh, I didn't use, ma'am.
Axios.
Yes, in React Axios I use.
Yeah. Okay. Go back to the stack blitz. Search for stack blitz React. Create a button. After clicking on this button, you should click this server which I sent to you. After success message, print some message.
Axios is not finding you. just installing the package. We can write the directly Axios from Axios.
So install the package. So what is the purpose of callback?
Yes, callback actually there are function inside a function and just take as an argument. For example, like a function 1 and there are function 2. So the function 1 is just take as an argument function 2. So this is a callback, or we can say that there are server and client response. So there are multiple client will send the request to the server, like a user 1, user 2, user 3 at same time. So the server don't know who is the user 1 and who is the user 2, so it just get the response without any identifier. So that time we are using a callback. It means once any user 1 and user 2 send the request to the server at same time, so with callback the server send the response to the same user 1 and user 2. So this is a callback.
Okay. So why we are using arrow function?
Arrow function, actually this is a AJAX feature. So arrow function, there is no need to write that this is a arrow function. So like a handle and submit, this is a arrow function. If you want to write anything with argument or without argument, so you can just write in a single line. So and there is no bind the function also. This
What is the purpose of this keyword?
this is a object, we can say that this is a object keyword. So in a class component we are using like inside the constructor, this is a window object of the this keyword.
Mm. Okay. So is it possible to find the length in object?
Object length, yes.
How it's possible?
uh, Object length, object length. Mm, I think object name and dot length, I think. Mm, not sure.
Mhm. Okay. What is the difference between for in and for off?
uh, for in loop, that time we are applying some looping concept. So
Mhm.
for these are the if you want to given an array like a user, and these are the user in for, and inside the just take the value in. So you just user one just take the value of the in, like that, right?
Mhm. Okay. So what is meant by synchronous and asynchronous?
Yes, synchronous, actually there are multiple functions in synchronous. So function 1, function 2, function 3. So function 1 is execute after the success, it will successfully executed, then it will go to the function 2. Then function 2 is successfully executed, then it will go to the function 3. This is a synchronous. But asynchronous, there are three function 1, 2, 3. So without waiting, it just executed, then function 1, function 2, function 3. So with that time we are using async await for waiting for some time, like a function 1. So and function 2 we are applying async await, so it will wait for some time. After that function 1 it successfully executed, then function 3 successfully executed, then after function 2 it will execute successfully.
Okay. So is it possible to create custom hooks?
Yes.
Okay. So what is mean by React routing?
Yes, React routing actually they are navigate to one page to another page with the route and
Mhm.
path name. Yeah.
Okay. So how we can communicate between the child and parent components?
Child and parent through the event looping, event handling.
Event handling.
Yes.
How you can pause the data?
Sorry.
How you can able to pause the data
Pa-
between two components?
pause the data.
Yes.
PAUSE pause.
PASS
Acha,
pause. How
pass
you can able
pass
to
the data.
communicate?
Okay, through the prompts. Pass the data, na? Yeah, through the prompts.
How you can update the state?
Through the set state method.
Okay. So can browser able to read the JSX?
No, it is just convert in the JavaScript through the Babel.
Okay. It is converting to which language?
JavaScript.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, so what is the major difference? Why we are using React rather than Angular?
Yes, React is a first of all we can say React is using a virtual DOM. So because a virtual DOM is a copy of the real DOM, there are multiple elements. So if you want to update a particular element, so in virtual DOM only that element is rendered rather than whole element. So this is the increase the performance also in the React.js, and React.js also follow a one-way data binding, but in Angular we can say Angular is a two-way data binding and one-way data binding both. And first of all, after 6 month version has changed in Angular, so this is a very difficulty to learning about new features.
Okay. So can you explain about higher order components in React?
Yes, higher order component is nothing. We can say that this is a decrease the reusability of the functionality. For example, there are two components, component A and component B. So both components just take the same functionality. For example, like a increment button. So there is no need to same functionality reside in the same component. So that time we are creating a HOC, high order component. So high order component just take a same functionality like a increment and decrement, and just these are the these HOC component we are importing the different component, just take as an argument. So these are the higher order component. It is just reduce the reusability of the functionality.
Okay. So can we reuse the functional components?
Yes, uh, this is the React is a reusability component. Yeah.
No, no. What I'm asking is, can we able to reuse the functional components?
Functional components,
Yes.
I think yes.
How can you do that?
Functional component, yes, we can use if you want to same component, you want to import another component, so we can use export default and function name. So you are importing, so we can use some component name.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because React concept is a reusability component. So functional and class component we can reusable component.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, so in which state we can render the data?
Which state?
Yes.
Which state matlab means inside the return render in class component. This one.
In life cycle, we are having different stage,
Oh
right?
yes. Component date mount. If you want to render only once, so component date mount lifecycle method is execute.
Okay. Okay, so baby, we'll get back to you.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.